Welcome to ITWL's second one-on-one bullshit and chat with Ether here. What's going on, man?
Yo, thanks for having me.
Yeah. But no, continuing our conversation. I'm thinking about going DSLR camera instead of
Ooh,
webcam to get a nasty, it's like a $700 investment, and then I'll mount it where my webcam is, but I'm thinking that might be the real night and day visual thing.
not in Twitch, not in Twitch. Not unless you're partnered.
You can't use that.
Your bitrate is not going to be captured. You're only allotted a certain amount of
Huh.
definition, I guess, because that would lag their website if they gave everyone high def like bitrate.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning about that. I streamed my last episode of my podcast, and even with an amazing upload, I got a lot of bitrate drop. And I'm wondering if that was just the fact that I'm using a mini coax antenna where my finger is right here behind the penguin. There's like a 3.5 inch antenna that's dual coax cable, and my motherboard has some nasty hardware for it. But I thought that was good enough, but based on all the drops I got in bitrate during the last stream, I think I might have to go Ethernet, which is only like 25 feet, but still.
Um, you're limited to stream at 6,000 bitrate maximum,
Yeah.
unless you're partnered. From what I understand, I think it's even lower than that, even maybe even
No, so
4,800.
you're right about six. I was doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you do 6, it's gonna look bad if you 1080p. Yeah, if you're gonna do 6,000 bitrate as a non-partner, you're gonna want to do 720p.
Really.
Um, yeah, because unless you're doing really slow, like thing like a card game or like art or painting, something like that. Because if it's fast and you do only and you'll have 6,000 bitrate to work with, it's not gonna draw it well on the screen, basically.
You have a Dogecoin graph on your thing. You invested,
Yeah.
Holmes?
I sold 80% during Saturday Night Live when it was rising up to like 74 cents even. So yeah, I sold on the high, and I kept like 30%.
You're a genius, bro. I lost that 30% I had in the biggest investment I ever put into anything, and it had risen 20% on my initial ROI, and
Huh?
then it dropped precipitously when Elon said what he said, and which wasn't
To the
even
moon.
it wasn't even bad. It was just a manner of like a circumstance, because a hustle is not a bad thing. It's a hustle.
You mean when
Contextually.
the Bitcoin thing that was too much energy, or what are you talking about? What did he
No,
say?
no. So like Dogecoin, when it dropped 30% in that one day, that was because when
Mm.
Elon was on Saturday Night Live, he called Bitcoin a hustle. And like you can almost map the time he said that to the time it
Oh.
aired to the time that Dogecoin dropped. And so that even on Robinhood, that was the news. Elon calls
Mm.
Dogecoin a fucking hustle, and it drops 30%. You
I
know,
uh m- I think I mean I watched the whole thing. I don't remember paying too much attention to that because I don't even remember him saying that. Maybe he did. I just
yeah, but you
didn't
probably
notice
look at
it.
him like the person he is. You can understand faceticism. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you can sense it. I can too, but the average fellow cannot. So
there, that made that sparked a war between the Bitcoin community and Dogecoin.
yeah.
So a bunch of people folks on Twitter started trying to make what is it called, like talk-togethers or groups, and trying to like solve that war.
Mm-hmm.
It felt so weird because all the Bitcoin investors just sound like they sound like knowledgeable, but I hate spiteful boomers. So it's really weird, like listening to them. I'm like, you guys are grown men. You should know better than to let these millennials upset you for making money. Like, why are you upset that millennials are making money?
Right? No,
I don't
it's
know. So weird listening to.
there's so much in the world. But yeah, so like I know literally nothing about you. Obviously, I don't want you to dox yourself, but within the realm of what you're willing to speak about, like where are you from, and what's besides gaming, what's your main passion?
Mango is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody.
I have a
No.
castle. It's got 25-foot walls, and I keep my distance. Call me Elsa, bro.
No, I'm from Ukraine. I moved here with my family in 2003. So I've been here for 18 years now.
So you
Um,
speak Russian?
Ukrainian, Russian, and English. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Your English accent is so fucking on point for a person who's not from the States.
Yeah, I had
That's
to learn
that's
in
crazy.
second grade. I came end of first, so that's when I started learning.
Wow, dude.
First grade, second
That
grade.
puts Americans to disgrace, bro. Like I struggle with Spanish and I speak English pretty good, but outside of that, languages are, they're rough for me to learn. Not that I
Mm,
put that much
the
time into it.
pressures.
I'm confident I could. I haven't dedicated myself.
But when I had this experience where I had to go to the restroom, and my teacher had scolded me for not raising my hand when I wanted to talk. So I
Hmm.
had my hand up this whole time, and I'm like trying to like ask polite, like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" I didn't want to interrupt, but this was like second or third grade. I don't remember which grade. I think it was second grade. And then, man, when a man's got to go, that really like teaches you to learn how to speak and how to interrupt and how to socialize real quick.
That's insane. Dude, you
Yeah.
do such a unique thing with your camera frames too. Like that's ingenious, dude. You've got your overlay, you've got your game, you've got me, you've got Dogecoin. There's so much to intercept. Like you're truly cornering the market on ingenuity.
I mean, this has been done in 2013. I'm just picking up the pieces from what I
No,
learned from the
oh,
greats like Recful on Twitch.
yeah, I mean, I never like that. When it comes to Twitch, I'm not learning from the greats. I'm my highest proficiency in gaming is Call of Duty. I'm a 15,000 hour 10-year Call of Duty veteran who's been a master
Ooh,
prestige in every Call of Duty, beat every Easter egg that's ever been released, and almost beat every achievement on Xbox that's ever been made for Call of
ooh,
Duty. So I'm
yeah.
fucking my knowledge on that is just absurd. But I recently kind of stopped playing. Like I played a fuckload out of Cold War, and I love Cold War, but I just reached this point where like I'm like, dude, I know everything about Call of Duty. It's mixed in with my reality so fucking tight. I need a
I dream
break.
of it. How many zombie dreams have you had in your life?
Too many. Even worse than that. So when I played, I have over 700 wins, and then Black Ops 4, the battle royale, and
Mm.
a great win ratio, like a fucking 27% win ratio or
Oh
something.
my god, that's not
Like
bad.
yeah, no, and that's between solo, duos, quads, and the special game modes that didn't have leaderboards for a while. And I love it, and I'm not being braggadocious. It's a manner of like I happen to be very good. I've been playing for years. It's more of a, you know what I mean, a dedication to my commitment rather than a, you know what I mean, a fluxation of my arrogance. But nonetheless, I just I fucking I played it too much. You know what I mean? And I was driving down the highway, bro, and I would see a Pepsi can on the side of the road. And so there was this update where they made uh camos for the battle royale mode, and the camos were earned by spending paint cans which look like blue Pepsi cans but with a spray paint
Okay.
nozzle on top. And I'd be driving down the highway fucking 70 miles an hour and see a Pepsi can and think about swerving so I can get a camo in real life. And I was like, I'm playing too much Call of Duty. I need to back up from the battle royales. It's getting rough.
If that's the only bad thing, then that
I don't
sounds
know about the
fine.
only bad thing. It's like, dude, I played so much, and I'm like a tactician when it comes to it. I'm not just like throwing the ball at the wall and wondering why it's not hitting.
Mm,
I'm fucking, head glitching every corner. I'm prone walking
mm.
through grass. You know what I mean? I'm fucking sniping silently and, knifing as much as possible. I'm Captain Douchebag, but I have a great win ratio because I think about it like, it's IRL. Like, how do I do this? Like, I really can't just play another game.
Mm.
And I love Call of Duty for that, but it's a grind, bro.
You
I,
you mentioned that you've almost discovered, just like you've discovered every Easter egg, you've prestiged a bunch. It sounds almost like you've explored almost every facet of the game, so like nothing left is interesting to you. Is that what it is? Is that how
there's
I'm hearing
probably
it?
a big part of that for sure. I really have. I've been master prestige in so many that like having a new medal and a new rank is nothing, and being better than the average people on pubs is just easy at this point. It's like, okay, I'm gonna play this map for the first time. I plan to have a bad KD this match. Next match, I will know so much about the choke points of this map that I will not lose a kill because I will be sitting behind every wall with a shotgun and every wall with an assault rifle if it's medium range, and every wall, corner with a long range. And it's a manner of understanding circumstance. It's the same way a tactician in real life would look at a battlefield. he'd go, he'd go all, Sun Tzu
X.
on it and be like, I know exactly what to do.
I hope for the tactician's sake that they don't have to die like 10 times to learn where everyone camps before they can go
Yeah,
in.
they learn but they still do. Like they don't personally die, but they're only learning because people did. They're reading textbooks about how the best wars in history were run, and you don't gain a mile without losing an army. You know what I mean? And maybe that's a poor analogy, but still it stands true. Like, to advance at all in war, people die. And so, you can either make a good choice or a bad choice, but a good one is, a million die. A bad one is 10 million die. And it's like, that's either way, pragmatically, that's just a little rough. But COVID fuck with you at all? Not to jump to a new segue.
Man, I was living my best life. No, I don't know. It's hard to say. I was almost thankful when COVID happened. I was like, fuck, now people can get to experience my life and how it's like to not go outside. Like, fuck everyone. Like, now you get a taste. Now you get a taste. No. The only thing that bothered me is I couldn't go to like Starbucks and like read manga or what else would I do? That includes going outside. Honestly, I think that's it. I never really had much people to want to go outside with, like to the beach or to the mall or something like that. So I was chilling, just reading shit at like libraries. Oh yeah, libraries. Not being able to go there and check out books, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Ukraine.
I mean, I don't live there. I live in the US.
Oh, you live in the US now? You're just from there?
Yeah, I've lived here for 18 years.
Oh, okay. I totally missed that. I thought you were saying the opposite when you said your story.
No.
Okay. You like it though? Comparatively?
The Ukraine?
Like US compared to what it would be if you were still in the Ukraine?
The weather? No. I'd rather be freezing my ass off, I think, during the actual winters where it snows.
Mm-hmm.
Climate wise, I think that's, yeah, I prefer the climate over there than the hot weather here.
That's pretty cool. So when
It's pretty hot.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I live in Vermont now, and my first year here got -20 in the winter multiple times. Fahrenheit. Very fucking cold. Like cars start stopping because antifreeze stops working.
Yeah, you need specific types and shit, specific oils,
Yeah,
specific
antifreeze stops
antifreeze.
working. So the cheap brands at least stop working at like -10 and then -20. It's fucking your antifreeze is frozen solid, dude.
Yep.
You into philosophy at all, or
Oh yeah, I love philosophy. I love ethics and morals.
as a practice or as an idea?
What does as a practice mean? What does that entail?
Well, I would say that the people who are contentious and who yell in your fucking face may say they're logical and may understand the concept and the practicality of logic, but they themselves are not legitimately logical. And so in that sense, I would say that like some people can understand and practice logic, and some people don't practice logic. They have inherited it and carry logic.
I definitely don't practice what I speak or what I preach for sure. I have a lot of flaws. But I do my best to try to understand different perspectives. A lot of perspectives of society I don't agree with, so societal norms, ethics, etc. I'm more utilitarian, but I definitely don't practice that for good reasons. I don't think it's beneficial for everybody. I also don't like the fact that life is unfair, but I think it benefits everyone for life being unfair. Like, a person could have been born with unfortunate circumstances, genetically, bad family, bad neighborhood, could have been bullied, teased, and then they go up and kill a bunch of people, and then they're killed, and like that never should have happened to them, but it did. It doesn't mean that they should have revenge on their parents for giving them birth, their school for teasing them, their people, their neighbors. It's just like, unfortunately, like I'm just coming to realize that that's just almost practical for life to be unfair, because things are not within your control all the time, and you can just get unlucky.
For sure. No, I think that totally exists, man. Um,
How about you?
I don't know. I'm 100% legitimately I'm Socratic. I'm very legitimately a narcissist when it comes to certain things. Like I don't know. I view traits as cards. So like some people facilitate nothing in their mind. I facilitate everything. Like my main study outside of philosophy is metacognition, and the two walk the same line because my study of metacognition and my study of philosophy are kind of paramount. Like they both, one without the other to me is impossible. uh and I only
Have an
mean that
example?
I only
Okay.
mean that like an example, like the way I think, I have a mind map, and so everything is based off the mind map. No thoughts I have are not in the mind map, and if like period. um
Like you use your own reason and logic that you run through your mind map to come sense of things and come to your own conclusions.
Yeah, kind of in a really far out way, like Sherlock Holmes. Like, because I adapted it off him. He was where the idea, Sir Conan Arthur Doyle, came up with the idea for Sherlock Holmes in the 1700s or whatever. And nonetheless, the idea of a memory palace or a memory map, cognitively, it's just a super mnemonic device where you take a place in the real world and you put that place in your mind, and you take the items that you would not remember that were in the stores or the places or the rooms or the fields, and you replace it with ideas and thoughts. And so it just has a higher rate of memory. And like the point of that obviously has, it seems pretty simple. If you can increase the rate at which you can remember things, that's beneficial in general, you know.
Is that what you're practicing now?
I yeah, for like 10 years. Yeah, no, I've got a mall that I went to as a kid every Friday, and that is imprinted in my mind. And I when I need to remember something, I go in there mentally. You know what I mean? It sounds cuckoo as Cocoa Puffs. It really does. Like there's no, like, our society doesn't accept that form of deep thought, and it's unfortunate. Like in Einstein's time, if you were a genius, you were revered. But in 2021, if you're a genius, you're an asshole. You know what I mean? You're a loudmouth or something. It's
Um, from certain research and videos I've seen, they've linked memory with environment.
for
Like,
sure.
have you ever left your room and entered like your kitchen and then been like, "The fuck did I come here for?" And then you just go back, and you're like, "Fuck, okay." You enter your room like you're like, "Fuck, now I know what I need." You go back to your kitchen and you're like, "Fuck, what did I come here for again?" It's so annoying.
For
I
sure,
I
for
think
sure.
I think that happens a lot if you don't expose yourself to different environments. So your brain kind of needs to remember things less because everything you need, everything you technically have needed to survive within the last set of time, like maybe 10 hours, 5 hours, it has been all around you. So your brain hasn't consciously needed to remember anything. But if you I think if you travel or if you go places more often, I think from what I understand from my research, it's just your memory becomes better. I'm not sure if you have an experience with that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I understand. I definitely understand where you're coming from. I I don't know. Everything for me is so outside of commonplace because I don't get to experience my life talking about it with other people. It's just a manner of learning what other people experience and trying to extrapolate through what I'm aware of, if that makes sense.
I think that's how most people function. They have to use their own life's experience to understand other people.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Um, but like, do you have the benefit of being able to talk to a bunch of people about, like, hence what we're talking about now? The majority of the times I bring up anything to do with anything, in this connotation, it generally leads to someone disengaging rather than being like, yeah, let's
Mm.
talk about the intimacy of everything I think about.
No, I I love talking about anything that I disagree with people, especially like the more I disagree about something with someone, the more I want to understand it, and the more I want to understand the other person's perspective or side. I've had a lot of discussions with people online, not so much in person, but I feel like I've had a lot of discussions with people online, and at least my own opinions are more so. Bless you. They're more so
Thank you.
like of my own conclusion instead of things that were ascribed to me. Because I've been independent since I was. I feel like I've been truly independent since I was born. Maybe truly since I was 10 when I got my computer, and then 18 is when I moved out from my parents completely. So all my decisions and thoughts and conclusions are of my own with little influence, I think.
I can understand that. I mean, I moved out at 15, so like I'm in the same hammock with you there. You know what I mean? My thoughts and actions as an adult are so super abstract compared to a normal, amount of
Mm.
people. Like I don't have the same the same go as other people when it comes to, like, I was an adult just too early. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if what how old are you? If that's something you're not willing to, if you're willing to not dox or whatever.
I'm 17.
17. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm 24.
Solid. You got me for a second. I was like, okay, let me compute this. No, yeah. So we're more or less in the same bracket. I mean, I'm 26. To nitpick over
Mm,
700 days feels a little judgy. Um,
mm.
yeah, I don't know. What do you define life by? Like, if someone asks you super vague metaphysical questions, like why is life important? What makes your gears turn?
Mm.
Like, my it's metacognition and neurology for me, like a philosophy. The way my brain works, how I think about the way my brain works, and how I think about thinking about the way my brain works are the three things that make me, super happy.
Unfortunately, to my something that causes me probably trouble. I think of life as whatever you make it out to be. Like whatever gives you purpose. That's your life's goal. Whatever you make it. If you think meditation and pursuing, like, what is it called? Um, what like all now what is it called? If you meditate a lot, you're in pursuing of being enlightened. Yeah. If you want to be, if you want to devote your life to becoming enlightened, and you do, then there you go. Like that's awesome. Your life's probably amazing. If you want to devote your life to making someone happy and bearing children, taking care of them, and being a good mother, then and you do that, then that's awesome. You're probably happy, I hope. Whatever you set your mind on, I think that's what's important. I don't think it's anything that society. So I don't think it's something you should make that is a societal of a value. But I think that's probably a bad thought to have, to be honest.
I think it becomes a societal value because some people grow up in, what Rogan would call an echo chamber. You know what I mean? Like, you
Mm,
grow up in this little tight circle of people, and there's nothing you can do to escape those circle of people. So,
mm,
welcome to the ball game, folks. You know what I mean? And that's what becomes disparaging is the way that slice is drawn.
makes sense.
I don't know. It's super interesting. I love talking about it. I love discussing it. And I was actually, I went out and I had dinner by myself tonight for the first time, I think maybe in my life. And I was just
Oh
like,
wow.
I was gonna go out with my buddy, and he was passed out drunk on the couch. And I was like, I'm not gonna wake him up. I was like, yo, let's go to dinner. And he was like, yeah. And then immediately went back to sleep when I heard snoring. And I was like, yeah, I locked his door and I left. But yeah, no, it was weird. I sat there and I got to reflect on myself, and
Mm,
everyone else, as I looked around, was on their phone. Everyone. And so, like, I was like, I need to put my phone away. And I put my phone away, and I just sat there and I just thought, and it was nice. It really was nice,
yeah.
and it was also weird. But it was super nice, and that when I finished eating, I was like, I can pay my bill now, but like, can I just go to the bar and like just have another drink and just hang out for a little bit? So they were like, yeah. And I went over and I just started talking with the
That was
stranger and
nice.
we were just bullshitting, and I initially went there to sit at the bar and have interactive,
Mm,
and the bar was completely full when I got to go in there. And so I sat by myself at a table and it was separately different. You know what I mean?
mm.
Um, but it was really nice. I mean, it's weird, but really nice. It might be something I could get used to. Yeah, I liked it, but
Hmm. I remember taking myself out. I think it was to IHOP because I had never been there before, and like I asked a bunch of people if they wanted to go, and they all just either ghosted me or said no. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna go myself. I want to see what IHOP is like. So I go over and shit was good. I had a breakfast, an omelet. I had a drink. Yeah, it was really chill. The waitress was nice. I mean, it was almost empty. I don't remember why, if it was during the beginning of the pandemic or what, but yeah, it was nice. That was my first time I went to like a restaurant or something myself.
hmm, that's really cool. And I totally went with you were saying. So I flipped up my Twitch and I flipped up my stream for my thing, for my podcast. So we're now live and recording steadily as well.
Nice.
Yeah. And I totally, you're gonna learn from the greats. I put my game over the overlay. Mine's less exciting though. I'm not doing super cool things. I'm literally standing in one spot cutting trees. And when I have no more inventory, I burn the trees.
Hell yeah.
And then I go
Hell
back
yeah.
to cutting
Effective.
trees.
No XP waste. No time waste.
No, I'm completely
Yeah.
self-sufficient. Fill and empty,
Hell
fill and
yeah.
empty.
And
Um,
the greats I learned from are the titty streamers. They're the ones who make their game 2% of the screen. Oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it's a demographic that's hard to get into when you're male. uh,
I think the femboys will pick it up.
Maybe you got a point. It's a whole market now.
Untapped, completely untapped.
Untapped. You're right. No, not many steps have walked in that marsh. So what are you playing right now though?
I'm playing World of Warcraft, leveling a mage. Burning Crusade is coming out, so I'm not sure what to do. I was planning to make a Draenei priest, because Draenei priests are like the definition of sluts, and like I don't know, like through the lore of World of Warcraft, the Draenei were just murdered, kidnapped, millions of them were slaughtered. Like they're just like they're just like I don't know, just what is it called? Demeaning?
Demeaning,
Fuck.
like to
They were
make look bad.
yeah, they were just like they were just really like put down. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just be like a heal slut, a Draenei heal slut, and I'll be
Uh-huh.
appreciated for good heals.
Yep.
So, but now I'm thinking maybe a shaman because they can go shaman. So now I'm fucked. I fucked myself for having that thought. Now I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I
You ever play WoW?
no, I was a Diablo 2 guy when WoW came out, and I've never I've never jumped on WoW. I've really thought about it many a times,
I
but
think when we first met, I was playing WoW as well.
probably I whenever we had met, I was AFKing RuneScape. That's for sure.
You were mining in the those little underground caves. I forgot what it
Yep.
was.
Yeah, that's the mini game. I gotta click my button here to remember what it's called. Uh, I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, no, it's
Something
a
mine.
dwarven mining cave or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
Shit's crazy. But yeah, I'm going for 99 woodcutting right now, and yeah, I'm just going pacifistic with
Hmm.
my whole shebang.
My main's first 99 was smithing.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, it was gruesome.
Yep. No, I know what you mean there. Um, I don't know. I just can't get over RuneScape. I love playing it. It's extremely fun for me to play, and there's endless things to do. Like I'm not done. I won't be done forever. When I'm done with this, I'll just repeat the same exact thing on RS3. I'll be
Have
70
you?
years old playing RuneScape 4.
RuneScape community is really chill. They're really chill. They have Brewfest in the UK. They're a wholesome community, really.
No, yeah, there's a lot of friendly people. I've never met a dude screaming the N word because it gets asterisked.
I've had so much accounts banned on RuneScape for like just dumb things because I was 11 or 12. So unfortunate.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's definitely a it's it's disconcerting at times, but you got to roll through the strokes, you know.
What are your thoughts on what is it called? What is it called when a private organization has social media and so they get to choose how to censor things and they can just cancel you if they want to or just ban you without reason because that's in their terms of services. But is it decentralized where there's a social media platform that doesn't have something like that? Or what is it called
Yeah,
exactly?
maybe privatized or decentralized, but I think you're on ball with that.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to like a good social media that's decentralized, so people don't get censored or banned without reason or logic or for dumb things. That'll be exciting.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
if you
the
have any thoughts on that.
No, I totally do. I just totally fucked up my stream. I don't even know what I did. I just fucked up my window capture of our meeting and it totally distracted me. Um,
Oh, good.
yeah, no, I think it'll be okay. I'm just gonna I'll fix that in a minute and end the stream. That seems simpler. Do you want to repeat your question for me?
Oh, I was just saying like if you have any thoughts on all of the social media networks that are run
Oh,
by
yeah.
private
Yeah.
organizations instead of being decentralized, so that they can, because they all the private networks like Twitter, Facebook, they just choose pick and ban whoever they want to. They're basically like governing parties that can literally cancel someone's career even that aren't regulated by the government but the private entities.
I don't know, like if you're running one, you probably don't want to be mitigated, right? So that's that they would probably be against it, obviously, but um I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I'm in all the things I'm in are kind of that way, more or less. Like you ever been on Kick?
Yeah.
So that's definitely that way. Um, where if you're fucking around and you get too many reports, you get kicked. So, but I don't really know if that's qualified as a private entity. Um,
Mm, not
I
sure.
don't know. In what way are you proposing the question? Are you saying it as if you have a problem, or as if you believe it's a? I doubt it's as if you believe it's a good thing based on the
No,
context.
I think it's a problem because people are just it can impact people's lives in a really drastic way. Like it can ruin a person's career entirely, for example.
If someone sees bad things that have happened on social media about them or something.
If Facebook wants to like silence someone, they basically have the power to. Or if there was allegations made about someone, instead of letting them keep their platform and not engaging in this because we're not lawyers, say if I'm speaking from Twitter's behalf, let them keep their account. Like why suspend someone who a girl, for instance, can or maybe isn't lying about like sexual or rape allegations. They can just straight up just ban that person from Twitter. things like that.
Yeah,
I think that can be really
Twitter's
shitty.
harsh as fuck, man. I don't even have Twitter. Like we have a Twitter for the podcast, but I don't use it ever. And honestly, I probably should just delete it for to save face because I don't know. Twitter is super rough. You know, you can't get anything by on Twitter.
Mm. I think Twitter is amazing, and it's completely underutilized and underinvested in.
So how do you think it's amazing? So as a person who doesn't use it, like if I were to start using it, how do I get somewhere? Like what is the, because like my understanding of Twitter is like it's massive amounts of engagement. If I don't put in the phone clicks, I don't get the follows. And it's like it's the ROI on time that I just think about when it comes to it.
Yeah. I'm not too well versed, but I think it just it's another branch to basically grow your tree on, and people can check out those tags. Sometimes people do. Sometimes people follow certain things, and I think it suggests channels if your content is similar. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but yeah, it's definitely like a free way to promote yourself or your ideas under hashtags. I'm not exactly sure how useful it is if you don't have a big following, right? Because then you'd be limited by, I think, just by people looking up your hashtags that you mentioned in the posts. But yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I have a Facebook group for things and I have, but frankly, it's not a lot of stranger engagement.
Mm.
Subtle, but I don't know. I don't really understand the marketing aspect of social media has so many avenues that like any one person could say that the next person's wrong based on their plan. And so it's very intriguing when it comes to how you achieve anything, you know, like YouTube itself. A lot of that is just understanding what's the meta of their algorithm is and hitting that on the dime and then you roll.
Yeah, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, you got to follow the pace. And if you don't follow the pace, well, and that's the thing with like the podcast. Like I'm only following the pace to the degree where I have to tag things as opposed to just posting it and letting it roll. Cause like people, when you search the title of something, the title's much less important than the tag that the title is also, you know. And so that's a giant thing when it comes to YouTube. And it took me a long time to learn that. And I'm contemplating getting like an app to help me understand even more about YouTube on things that I don't know. Like there's an app called or a sub app, I guess, called vidIQ, and it's a YouTube enhancer, more or less. It shows you what the best tags are, what the best. Maybe you know about it. I don't need to give you a definition, but
Mm.
have you ever heard of it?
No, I haven't.
But yeah, so when you download it, you then go back to YouTube and there's little overlays on everything. It shows you what video has the most likes and why, because that video
Mm.
had this tag. And so you need to put this tag on your video. And then it shows you that, you know, your last video did this much worse than this video only because you did this. And it's like a plethora of algorithms that know YouTube, and you have to pay for it, of course, but its main job is to make, you know, like in the same way that I'm playing RuneScape through RuneLight to gain a benefit on seeing my stats and seeing my XP gain and stuff. This is a benefit to YouTube to show me the things that I wouldn't know about the metadata.
I hope so. It honestly kind of sounds like a scam,
It Some
like
of the
an
most
app that thinks
professional
that they
people
know
use it.
better. Okay. I don't know. I don't have any data on it, but it's just like
No, and I'm
I,
with you.
I would almost trust YouTubers to tell you better data than an app.
Well, it enhances YouTube's data. It doesn't change YouTube's
Oh,
data.
okay.
It's
Oh,
giving
okay.
you the same data. It's just uh it's categorizing all of the search results of YouTube that you're not looking at for you to look at statistically. So it says
Okay.
out of the last whatever, you know, to give you an example would be to insult the program because it really is a smart thing. I don't have it
Mm.
yet, but I have, like I said, my chaptering guy who's Indian on Fiverr, he recommended it to me. He said there's these two programs that are quite amazing in increasing SEO and increasing the amount of, you know, traffic you get. And vidIQ is one of them. And vidIQ's sole proprietary purpose is to enhance YouTube. So that way you get faster traffic. And I haven't used it yet, but if you just go to the website, you look at it, and it's quite commonplace. Like, you're like, okay, I understand what you're trying to do here. And I googled it a few times and looked at a few YouTube videos, and across the board, it was 9 out of 10 liked it. 1 out of 10 was like, it's sketch, but
Do you mind if I grab a drink? It's like extremely hot. I'm gonna turn on my AC.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Intermission, folks. Dogecoin 54 cents. Ooh.
okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, all good, man. All good.
But yeah, let me know if it works. I'm curious to see what it does, how it's serving you.
Yeah, no, I certainly will. The best thing that's served me so far is Fiverr. Like, having, being able to look at 1,000 people who I can outsource things to, and then choosing which one I think might do the best, choose their cheapest program, choose if, out of those 10 $5 programs I did, who was the best, and then buy the second best out of the top 3, and then buy the best out of the top 1. And I've done that like 10 times, and I've spent, like, I have an elite status on Fiverr. I've spent so much money. They call it VID, very important distinction.
Oh,
Yeah, I've spent so much fucking money on there. It's ridiculous. But it's because, like, I just made our brand new YouTube banner. I made my own banner 3 times to the exact pixels that they requested, and every time I uploaded, it looked like fucking shit. I don't understand how the video editing works. Not the video, but the program or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I went on Fiverr, found some dude for $5, and I was like, here's my logo. I want this for a YouTube banner. Thanks. And fucking 36 hours later, he's like, project done. And I right clicked it, saved it, and then uploaded it. And I love it. It's got 3 modes. It's got the pixels for a desktop. If someone were to full screen it, it's got the pixels for a minimized screen, and the pixels for, and maybe pixels is the wrong word, but the size orientation for a full screen, a minimized screen, and a phone. And so I was like, that's really cool, So any platform you're on, you're not going to get some distorted image. I was like, that's super cool. And it was like fucking $5, literally. And then on iTunes, I was having a problem. The same thing. I made a bunch of pictures through one of my photo editing softwares at the exact pixels iTunes requested for the podcast, and it just wouldn't fucking work every time. Because I'm not going through iTunes directly. I'm having a sub program go to iTunes, and so every time I uploaded it wasn't working. And so I went on Fiverr and, iTunes photo picture, and I sent them the exact photo I wanted. And all they did was did whatever and made it the same thing I was trying to make it, but poorly. And boom, so that was like a 12-hour thing, $5, and boom, I had the thing I needed. It's stuff like that, I reach a point where I don't understand how to do something. I don't have the time to do something. And for $5 to get it done instantly is so miraculous.
I think if there's anything that I needed done desperately enough, I would just YouTube it, research how to look it up how to do it myself.
Time is a commodity, though, bro. Like, if you have money enough to throw $5 at the wall, like, you can't get time back. You can get another $5.
I haven't reached the point in my life where I value time that much. Maybe we'll see. Maybe it starts happening.
I have a 3-year-old and I work a 9 to 5 to support 3 people. So, like that. Different situation, but in my paradigm, like, if I didn't work, people would go without necessities, so I have to work a 9 to 5, and then I have to do subcategory things and all that stuff too. So I don't know. Interesting.
Gotcha.
Do you want to have a family when you're older, or what do you sheesh.
Yeah, it's
walking on the tundra.
It's tricky. I've started seeing a therapist again. try to come
That's
at this,
healthy.
from another angle, because there's an issue that I'm not going to mention, but
That's all
yeah,
good.
I'm hoping a therapist can give me some advice on how to approach this.
Okay. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Do
Yeah.
you want to climb Mount Everest?
Mm, no, I don't think so.
First of all, the sound of ice dropping into water, iconic. Bloop. Fucking brilliant. Like a soundboard couldn't duplicate that as well as that just existed. But I do. I think I want to climb Everest. I think that sounds super cool. I'm in really peak shape. I'm not peak, but I'm in top 80% of what I could be. And I've been working really hard to be even better. And so I'm thinking 36 months from now, I might be at honestly like the most healthy I ever could be. And I think that'd be really cool to do. GoPro the whole thing to wit, you know, what a GoPro could do. I'm not going to exhaust endless energy on top of a mountain that will kill me if I get too cocky by wiping off a camera lens every 3 seconds when snow fills it up. So I don't really know how practical it would be. But if there's a way to do it, I would, I think there's enough research on people doing it. And I'm sure there's a video of someone doing it front to back. So I think, in the same way that you learned from the greats of that, I think I would like to learn from a lot of the
Yeah.
greats of the people who lived to tell the tale about doing it. Cause it's pride won't save you if you get 90% of the way up and you're out of oxygen and you can't survive. Like, your body
How do you get
just
back down?
the same way you got up, bro.
So it's,
So you
it's
carry everything you need to survive on the way up to carry it all the way on the way down. And there's truly a ratio of breast. I love boobs. Breath exhaustion to weight, encumbrance. You know what I mean? Like that's a real thing. Like every person within the top 99% who has died on Everest, and I mean the top 99%, like maybe if someone died 5 feet up, if they got carried down, but basically everyone who's ever died on Everest is on Everest still, because like you can't afford to have spare weight on you because you don't have enough air to make up for the stress that the weight causes and the air that is reduced and mitigated due to the fact that you're carrying more now. It's a real fucking bitch. Like that's why I'm saying when like pride doesn't care about you, nature is nature. So like if you exhaust too much air, you die. Because
Are you saying nature doesn't care about your opinions?
it doesn't care about anything. That's what's beautiful about it. It's if you understand it and respect it, you can work with it in such a way that it's harmonious. But if you're negligent and you're ignorant to it, it will kill you. Like the difference between an edible berry and an inedible berry is a slight color or maybe the shape of a leaf next to the berry, but it's very subtle. Like, you could die very easily grabbing the wrong berry if you had to survive in the forest.
Hmm.
It's I don't know. I just really want to climb Everest, bro. I think that sounds brilliant. Do you want to go skydiving?
I thought about it. I don't have a drive to do it. I don't really have something to prove. I think if someone asked me like, hey, if someone dared me to, because they insulted my ability to like they just insulted my ability to like do things I'm afraid of or tackle challenges, I would do it to prove them wrong. But I don't really have anyone to prove wrong. I don't really have a reason to do it, to be honest. I know if I wanted to do it, I could do it. I just don't have a reason to.
Fair enough. No, that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Just to say that I did isn't good enough reason for me, I think.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think ever since I saw a Will Smith video and he was like, "Yo, you need to, if you don't want to go skydiving, you need to go skydiving because you know what I mean. It'll be epiphany. It'll be epiphanous. You know what I mean. You will receive a major benefit from doing such a life altering thing." And I think I agree with that. Jumping out of a plane at, a 5-digit height sounds fucking crazy until you do it. And then it's like, bro, I jumped and I fell and I saw some insane shit that I can still see in my mind and I landed and I'm safe. There's even been one dude who jumped out of a plane and lived without a parachute. not
Yeah.
accidentally. He did it on purpose. He was like,
No,
yeah.
no way.
No, for sure. It was like some Red Bull contest or something. The guy planned the spot he was going to land, and he jumped out of a
Doesn't
plane
sound
with
safe.
no shoe. Well, it wasn't safe, but he understood the physics of the concept. Someone who's skydived probably 150 times isn't worried about doing it once after he's lived 149 times prior. Parachutes have succeeded every time. So, and he had other people filming him from every angle. So, God forbid it really didn't work. I mean, he could have, if he wanted to back out, he had the whole opportunity until non-parachute pulling range, but he lived like he did it and lived. So like to say that it's unjustified is
Did he like? Oh fuck! I just died. Close. Did he like land on like a soft bag or something, like or in the
yeah, no,
water? Because I mean, you die if you hit the
he
water.
landed on something like that, but
Oh, okay.
nonetheless he jumped out with no chute. He didn't abandon it when he knew he was safe. He jumped out with no chute, and on
I want to
film.
see that.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one dude. It won't be hard to find.
Oh yeah, let me
He
see.
broke a world record too. But it just is super fucking insane. I don't know why Red Bull comes to mind when I think about it, but it certainly makes me think of it as that sort of contest. But so, what's on the top of your bucket list for a skillful thing? Like, what do you think?
Um, Bucket list skillful thing.
Like, maybe not even skillful. Skillful is the wrong adjective, but like in the sense of in your
Like accomplishment.
mind, yeah. Like, what's your nirvana as far as a skill? Not even skill, you know what I mean? But just like in general, like to me, mine's being able to just be, complacent with who I am at every moment, working as hard as I can to understand all the facets of my imagination and the world and be happy with what I think I see, you know.
Um, can you rephrase the question?
Yeah, like I mean, I can give you I'll give you the stupid question, but maybe it's the question you need to answer it correctly. What is your purpose in life?
Oh, my purpose in life. My
Yeah,
purpose in life
that's
is to
all I
get a
meant.
girlfriend at the moment. That's what my purpose is. That's honestly it. Other than that, I'm trying to exist.
That's not unattainable
Unfortunately,
though, bro. Like you're not unattractive, and you got
oh no, I know,
dope
I know it.
intelligence. Like I'm sure you'll be able to
I've dated
achieve that
girls.
goal.
I've had dates and flings and long term, short term, whatever. But I just need another girlfriend because my mental isn't that great. So existing is a struggle, just purely existing in itself. Um, but if like most whatever the hierarchy of needs, right? Once those are obtained, I think the next thing is just my purpose in life is just to obtain a lot of as much knowledge as I can, see how technology progresses, how uh, medicine progresses, see if I can experience augmented reality, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology.
You mean be
Um,
killed by all of the above?
why not? If I can't stop it.
Like a bad Black Mirror episode.
What's Black Mirror?
You've never seen Black Mirror?
No,
You're not being facetious?
no.
Dude, there's a Netflix show called Black Mirror, and there's 12 episodes, and the entire show's point was to be as controversially uh, out there as they could be in a paradigm sense. And so every episode is about like some futuristic concept and paradigm. Like every show is just basically 80% of an episode, then there's a huge twist, and then you're like, whoa, and you like it makes you really step back from your own life. But like every single episode of it, you know what I mean? One is about these people who live in a society where all they do is ride a bicycle and stare at a TV screen, where the currency they make is based on how fast, and how hard they ride the bicycle. And they
Ooh.
spend that on what they want. And if you earn 1 million or 10 million credits, you can buy a contest to the show where it's like American Idol, but in this world, and then get off the bicycle to go be a celebrity. But it's like the whole world is just on bicycles to, and they don't tell you, but basically the concept is to like support the world, I think. But, and just every episode is super mentally controversial. Like you could right now, I fucking promise you, go to Netflix and watch any of the Black Mirror episodes, and you would understand what I'm talking about, because everyone holds the same paradigm of what the fuck, my mind hurts. Like, dude, you hit that on the nail so good for what it hits the nail on the head. One of them is about a world in which you can have your occipital lobes and anterior calcarine and hippocampus all mapped, with this ability to record everything you've ever seen. And so you have this little remote and you can just rewind everything you've ever seen and replay it and
Yeah.
replay it. And if
Yeah.
you really don't want it, you can delete it. And then there's
Yeah.
people in the world who don't have it, and they're looked at like, whoa, that's weird and you're cool. And then there's other people who do, and they get in constant fights with other people about the past because you can fucking prove it. Like, whenever you've wanted to talk to someone and be like, if I only I had a camera. Like, imagine that. Imagine every moment you've had in your whole life you truly had verified proof. Let me show you. I'll Bluetooth it. Bink AirPlay, TV, watch
That
my
sounds
fucking
awesome.
eyes. It was so fucking cool. But then it showed you the contrast and the pain, like how a girlfriend and a boyfriend would fight over intimacy. And if one cheated, that the other would have to watch them literally fuck someone else, like through their own eyes. And that lying is it,
Why would they want? Why would they need to do that?
it's not about a need though. Like, if you're being cheated on, you need to verify whether or not, you know what I mean, it's authentic. And in a world in which
Mhm.
everything's recorded, verifying it must be, you know what I mean. If you watch the episode, you understand. I'm not making up the story, but if you watch the episode, you'd be like, oh my god,
Sounds rough.
it's super fucking rough, dude. The guy's life falls apart, but it comes down to a point where, like, he loses his mind because of the things he can find out about the past. Like, I'm, accept and forget, be like water, just become the shape of what size bottle you're in, or what size space you're in. But in a world in which everything's recorded, you don't get to have that ambiguity. You have to be this, you have to be that. And
Was the premise or the um how were they saying that it was like a bad thing to like have a society where things would be recorded? Is that
no,
what they were
the
pushing?
whole world had it. It was a good thing to have that. It was a bad thing to not have that in this in
Oh,
this in this world.
and
Yeah.
was that like I mean, I know a show can say it can give the impression that something is good within the show, but like looking at it from outside, like how did that feel morally? Were people like happy having that
Well,
in the
because
show?
I mean, yeah, there was positive aspects. Oh my god, look at what my boss said. It was so funny. Woo, 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 woo. And then they show you, oh
Mm-mm-mm.
my god, look at Stacy fucked up with Nancy, and woo, Joseph got promoted. You know what I mean? Like, it was
What the fuck? Yeah,
it was really cool in some aspects, but then you saw the diametric opposite of those aspects, and it was like, oh fuck,
yeah.
like, I don't want to, like, I've been in situations before where I wanted to know the answer to something, and imagine the answer to something being that of which you get to watch. I don't get to
Yeah.
be told the answer through you. I get to watch the true thing unadulterated through your memory, Bluetooth. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, Elon Musk Neuralink. You know what I mean? It's like, we're gonna drill a
Hell
hole in your
yeah.
head and we're gonna give you some superpowers to make you, you know what I mean, bionic. And
Peace.
what's that word for symbiotic? Like, have a
Yeah.
symbiosis between robots and being, like, our parents didn't know what it was like to hold the world in their palm. Most of our parents are just super detrimentally fucked up because the fact that when they were a kid they didn't get the internet, and now, dude, like, 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds are so happy. Did you know how many lonely 40 and 50-year-olds there are who have the internet, and it's like, boom, another 50-year-old who knows everything about the world that I know. Life is great. Like, 20-year-olds are picky. I was at the bar tonight by myself watching Culture, and literally, dude, there was so many couples who were together who you would never think they'd be together, but it was like, oh, they're the same age. And, like, even though she was annoyed he was talking about hockey, and he was annoyed she was not wanting to talk about hockey, they make it work, and it's like, it's different than being 20 some odd shit. I don't know. The world is
Yeah.
a fucking melting pot of just blessings, bro.
Uh, I don't know. It always comes with its own problems.
Well,
Here I
to
am.
have a blessing, my friend, equals the world in which the opposite exists. And for the opposite of a blessing to exist, I would pour wine all over my phone. That's not how the saying went, but I just poured wine all over my phone.
Oh no.
I was opening a wine bottle, and right when the cork came out, I have a different corkscrew than I normally have. The old one I had, when the cork came out, it was still on top of the bottle. This one, when the cork comes out, the bottle it separates from the corkscrew, and so it slipped in my hand, and I spilled wine on my phone. It's a good thing I love wine.
Hope your phone's fine.
Oh, it's yeah. I have an iPhone 10. It's like $300. If I need a new one, it's practically disposable. But yeah, man. I don't know. Life's super cool, man. Like, are you solo on this adventure at this point? Like, do you live with parents? Are you
Oh, I'm solo as it gets.
solo as it gets, bro? I dig it. Any regrets as far as 24 years in this world?
Any regrets? Yeah, not ending my life when I was 18 like I planned. That's my biggest regret.
Amen. I was at that at 15 and all the way up until 18 and even further. Not that it's a contest, just like, yeah, I'm with you. I sympathize heavily.
Yeah. 15 was my favorite age. It was like the best age of my life. Did so much things.
I think the best ages of my life, I was a super drug addict.
Yeah, same. I mean, that's when I was exploring all that stuff and trying things.
It's the
Hanging
it's the
out.
concept of the high. It's not the high. It's just the concept of it. Because like being high itself is great, but the to have like that's where I learned philosophy. To have the high, you must inherit the low after. And it's like that is where the pain in lies, and no one ever told you to get 10 out of 10 happiness, you'll get 20 out of 20 pain after. And it's like, woof, that might be a statistic I might want to avoid in the future. The gambling man ever tells me, I'll give you 5 aces, but you're going to give me 35 pairs after. And it's like, woo, you keep it all. I'll stick being average Tim, but I don't know, man. So many people have no view on life outside of living it. I think that's like blink, 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 game finished. But is that wrong? Like, do you need to think and think about everything? I do, and it's super irritating because like I can't not thinking about everything. But
I see a lot of people existing. I'm definitely existing in my own way, but like, I guess my choice of existing and coping with life is video games, and I guess I have a negative judgment on people who I don't know, smoke or do drugs because I see it so often, and I feel bad for them. They seem really lonely. But like, who am I to judge them the same way? But it's just like, fuck, man. So many people just coping with life. It's just, especially on Discord. I don't know what it's like elsewhere.
right,
I really don't.
what's the main Discord you kick it in?
I've been banned from all my favorite ones, or I've left
Why have
my
you
all
been
time
banned? You're
favorite
not
one.
even remotely toxic.
Um,
Or are you? I just haven't seen it.
drama, like, I have like a thing I struggle with that's very controversial, and people just don't want to deal with it. It's like, yeah,
What's
it's
so
hard to explain, I
controversial?
guess.
Discord can't deal with it. They have 12-year-olds screaming the N-word all day. What's more controversial than that in a short sentence?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to discuss it.
No,
It's
you
just,
don't have to. I'm not asking you. I just mean in the context, like, no, that's a thing I don't
yeah,
have to. I don't know. I'm super controversial, but I don't have to deal with that. I've
yeah.
had times where I brought up something and someone was like, nope, and it's like, okay, bro.
It's like, imagine the world is vegan, right? And I'm just over here, and I just kind of like, I'm over here like eating my like Chipotle, and there's like steak in it, and they're like, oh my god, like what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm just eating. Like, you eat, I eat, everyone eats. And they're like, no, dude, we can't have that. And like, you're gonna cause too much trouble. Like, people are gonna like people have a bunch of questions and they start like insulting you. It's like, oh my god, you're a meat eater, you're a cannibal. Like I didn't do anything wrong. and they know I didn't do anything wrong, but they just like categorize me as like a cannibal because I eat meat, right? So that's a metaphor, I guess, for the best way to explain it. Just because some people just because it comes with a lot of stigma and a lot of drama, people just don't want to deal with it, right? It's like, would you rather ban one person for eating meat or 600 vegans for getting upset about them? And like, even though the guy eating meat didn't do anything wrong, it's just much simpler to ban him, right?
Okay,
Rather
I get
than
what you're saying.
manage the 600 people, and it's just fucking annoying because it's unfair.
I get what you're saying when it comes to that. That makes sense for sure. Um, I deal with that a lot, but I don't know. I relate to everyone on a super subtle level, so I don't usually have a giant problem when it comes to relating on a super deep level with a stranger. Like I look for the most vague connection when it comes to all coworkers and all intents and purposes of life, except when it comes to like a bestie or in this instance a podcast guy who I'm going to speak to for X amount of minutes. And it's reserved for moments, like the moments in which it's not reserved. I'm not discussing the inner facets of what I believe to be important. I might even juxtapose what I really believe just to avoid a contentious conversation at work, because my only goal at work is to do the job and get paid. I don't plan on getting in fights. So
Yeah.
I might tell Steve I'm a Republican, and I might tell Joe I'm a Democrat, I might tell Stacy I'm a libertarian, and then, you know what I mean, Lorenzo I'm conservative. Frankly, I give a fuck less, because I'm not going to remember that, and I'll tell them all the wrong thing next week, and they'll all be like, what the fuck, you changed? And I'll be like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm tired. LOL. Like I just want to do my fucking job. I don't care. Like, I love that people
Gotcha.
are different, but some people are so heavy-handed, heavy pedaled when it comes to everything, that it's like, oh my fucking god, you know what I mean? Like, I don't go to 10 on a normal vocal scale. Like right now, if this is a 3 out of 10, I'm not going to jump to a 7 ever. There's nothing you could bring up that would be like, oh my god, how dare you, and it's so to meet someone as a person who, like, in regular conversation just jumps wildly from like, oh well, this, and then blah 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 blah, blah this, and blah 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 blah, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like the definition of ADD don't keep up with you, Holmes. And I don't know, I just feel like that exists way too much. I try to give someone advice and they give me 300 words in fucking 3 minutes, and it's like, okay, yikes, you should do this. And then it's like, well, no, now I'm the enemy because I said what I believe, even though what I believe is not what they want. I don't know. I've accepted so many platitudes that, like, I feel like I'm Swami Salami. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So, like, there's lots of people who may understand what you think, but if they can't practice it, don't try to pick up their hand and walk them there. It's not gonna work. You're gonna end up stabbed and killed like Socrates. It's not gonna work. Don't be the king of what you think. Just be the king of what you think in your mind and act like Silent Joe in public. you know I don't know. I would love to for everyone to be equal, but the life wouldn't be fun then. Like going out and eating, dinner by myself tonight. I'm sitting there, I'm watching tons of people just bullshit, and strangers, and this and that and this and that. And I loved it. Like, everyone is in their own world, and I'm in my own world because I'm experiencing everyone, and it's COVID, and I'm super happy to be out. It's the first time I've went out, honestly, like in a restaurant, ever alone, and so it was exhilarating. I got a lot out of it, man. It was very beneficial for me, and I don't know, man. This whole staying inside thing is just pretty fucked up.
I need to change the battery 1 sec.
For sure. Got them batteries. I got a cord. Y'all can see it. Wub wub.
I'm back.
What up? I was talking about having a cord, not batteries.
4 seconds and it's good to go.
4 seconds. Bada bang, bada boom.
No, but yeah, I feel you. I don't really. Let's say I remember I captured the essence of what you meant with what you said initially. So I don't know if I can comment. Just not having a strong opinion. Is that what you're saying? Just keeping it to yourself because you know it would just get heated. So and you can't really sway someone if they're not open to it. Is that kind of what you were saying?
Yeah, more or less. I just, at work, I'm there to work. I'm not there to talk. So if someone brings up something controversial, I go with the path of least resistance and then move on. Is basically
Gotcha.
the intent of what I'm going with there. But yeah, I don't know, man. What hobbies do you have? What do you do? Like, do you what's up with you these days? What do you do? Like, I work a 9 to 5, and then I do this in my spare time on the weekends. And I'm a father, and just my schedule is I'm looking for the 25th hour of the day every day. You know what I mean?
I guess I turned my hobby into a passion. I started streaming back in 2013. Um, my main account got affiliate, but I didn't do like the tax questions they were asking because I was just too lazy. So that account got shadow banned. So I made a new one, and now this one is affiliate. um, I ran a clan or like a guild, you can say, in a game called PlanetSide 2. They would be called outfits, and I got up to 200 players. I invited everyone from the ground up. I trained them, played every day. We had a organized squad play. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
But yeah, we had like organized events. We play together. I had guys who would train people how to play armor, how to. I'd have trained. I handpick people who would train people to train like my guys how to fly, how to do infantry combat. But yeah, that was really fun. That was really fun.
Do you play a lot of WoW?
Um, lately, yeah, that's what I've started playing.
I've thought about it. I really have, but playing it by myself would seem boring. Is that like if you hopped on WoW for the first time by yourself, how hard would it be to get into a group of however many people you need to run, co-op to have fun? Like, is there a large barrier to entry to find people to do it with?
No, no. You can just get randomly invited to a guild, like a mass guild. And I think they're called guilds. Yeah, they're called guilds. And yeah, you can just random open guilds and invite people. Are just fine. But I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Certain guilds can have more of what you're looking for than others. You can
Okay.
definitely find one though.
How's your experience on Twitch? How are you doing on Twitch? Are you like profiting off it, or is it just something you do to work towards profiting off it? I've been doing it since 2013.
My experience on Twitch is I live basically with what I put in. I am not faking my reactions, so I'm not getting viewers. I'm not talking all the time to keep people's attention. I'm not an entertainer. I don't feel like I want to be a clown juggling balloons or balls or whatever the fuck to entertain people to keep their attention. I just do it for myself. I do it to clip things. I do it so maybe someone will hop in here and there and have a discussion. That's it. I know I'm not going to get any views that way or any followers or any money. And I don't really give a fuck as long as I stick to doing it how I like doing it. That's fun for me. Maybe someone will see that I'm a genuine person and actually likes my content. And they'll hang out. I had people like that, and I still have a person like that. They've been watching me since 2013. And it's like one guy.
You guys
Just a
actually
homie.
friends by now?
Yeah, I mean, he tried to reach out, but like I said, I'm not in a good mental state, so I end up deleting my Discord servers, and I guess the connection probably has been lost. But yeah, he can still message me and reach back out if he wants. I still see him as like a homie.
Dude, I love Discord the way it works. It's like kick with video for me. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we met on there, you know what I mean? Just bullshitting, jumping through chats, and it was like, what's
Yep,
up?
yep. Have you ever heard of Curse?
No.
No. Curse was like I think Curse was the best thing ever before Discord. It was all link based, like 6 letters or characters. You
Mm-hmm.
just punch that in on your website, and then you'd have voice chat for any game you played with anybody. And it was primarily used for League of Legends. So you'd hop in a lobby, you'd send a curse link, and boom, everyone's in the call.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I even once got in a ranked game. I sent the link to in the alt chat when the game started. So I even had the enemies in the chat. So it'd be a 5v5 all in one call. And even the enemies would be in the call, would be like making fun of each other. Like, yo, this guy think this guy's coming to gank you. So I was like, yo, shut the fuck up. I'm not doing shit. And I'm like, yo, run, run. Oh man, that was such a blast.
That's really funny. Yeah, I'm waiting for Halo Infinite to drop on Windows. That's a game I'm super fucking stoked
Ooh.
for. I really want to play the next Halo. That sounds amazing to me. I'm really looking forward to Dying Light 2, which should have been out by now, but COVID has really fucked it in the ass. Um,
Uh,
Dying Light 1 was an amazing game I played on console and at 1080p nonetheless. So now that I have a computer that can run some damn good shit, I cannot wait to try to play that. You know, it's just that it was a great zombie game, and endless things to
mm.
do, and a great storyline. It was just I don't know. I loved it personally. Like Dead Rising was just killing zombies and hitting accolades, but
From what I understand, that game probably was slowed because its whole premise was almost COVID related. And you don't want to make a game that's COVID related during COVID.
yeah,
But I'm not sure.
the first game was a lot about a pandemic, so I don't doubt that. You know, it was a zombie pandemic that affected the whole world. You know, but like the
Yeah.
Division didn't get affected. The Division was an amazing game. I love that game so much. I had the Division 1 and the Division 2. I bought twice once on PS4 and once on Xbox. I love that game, you know, and I might even, I don't know. I don't have a game I'm passionate about right now. I think I'm done with Call of Duty. I know everything about it. I
Mhm.
love it. It's a brilliant game, but I just think I might be past that. You know what I mean? It might be the not forever, but I'll give it fucking 5 or 6 years. And if with 15,000 hours under my belt, 5 or 6 years, I can't pick it up again, I'm truly just an asshole. So,
Gotcha.
but I don't know. I don't have anything that I love right now. You know, RuneScape, I love. I love RuneScape. Like even AFKing right now, like it just makes me happy. I'm working on stats that take fucking 13 million XP to max out. Like it's a truly time gratifying thing. Like someday I'll have one skill cape, and someday I'll have 20 skill capes, and someday I'll have a max cape, and then the max cape I'll mix with the Inferno cape, and I'll have a max Inferno cape, and then I'll be
Ooh.
like
Yeah.
dope as fuck, and then I'll have all the quests done and all the achievement diaries done, and I'll be, you know, by the time I have all that done, if they haven't updated tons of stuff in the game to the point where I have more to do, which they will, because they make lots of money off it, then you know I'll switch to RS3 or RS4 if that exists, you know. And I play RS3 too. I would play them simultaneously and AFK both of them, but I was a dildo and made both of them the same primary email, and it won't let me change it on either of
Hmm.
them. So I can't. I literally like I'm stuck with having to, you know. And
Uh,
you know, continue trying to do that because I would really love to be able to AFK wood cutting and fishing, because fishing is so easy to do. Click click, wood cutting, click click, you know. And but
hmm. My experience with with RuneScape, I started playing in like when I was in 6th grade when I was 10, and I played with my church friends when I was 11, 12. We would like compete with who can make the most gold, who can have the coolest armor. We'd have like trimmed armor and shit because we were free to play.
oh yeah,
And then some friends had cousins who were members, and like I was like, oh, that's tight. But I never enjoyed membership. Um, there were so many things to do. I really wanted to like what is it called? I really wanted to min max like free to play, but that was hard by itself. So I don't know what the point of going and becoming a member is if I can't even min max free to play.
well nowadays you can support your membership off in-game currency.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So as long as you can make 3 million GP a month, you can buy a membership. And with that 3 million GP a month, you can go to places that you can earn even more. And then as long as your ROI is higher
Yeah.
than 3, you have a profit and a membership. You know, and to me, honestly, $6 a month isn't breaking the fucking bank. You know what I mean? I mean, it's an hour of me working in the real world to have RuneScape for 30 days. Like, so if
Yeah.
you can't pay for a RuneScape membership, you frankly shouldn't be talking to me on any platform ever. You know what I mean? Like, that's just period. So if you can afford a phone as a one-time purchase, that's a lifetime worth of RuneScape.
Mhm. I just didn't. There was something about like not wanting to go into membership when I couldn't complete everything to like a dime. Like I'm a perfectionist, so I feel like hitting the subscribe button is just like, congratulations, you're now nowhere near close to anything. Like you just fucked yourself. I'm like, I'd rather be good at something and progressively work towards something I can actually obtain than to fuck myself by accepting a challenge I'll never like succeed at. And like having a main became completely something I wasn't interested in, because that's just like stupid as fuck. Like because that's just gonna take like forever. Like the best way to be competitive in like duels or PvP on a main is just to max everything 99 on all your combat skills, or build a PvP. PvP, like the shortcut of that is just build a PvP account with like an AGS spec or Void Ranger spec or Declaw Rush or but that's just like so much time investment where it's like I could have just as much fun playing a free-to-play account, switching gears, maging, and switching gears to range 2H finish, or just range 2H, which is hella fun all by itself, in my opinion. I could talk about that for a while.
No, I'm with you, man. I fucking love RuneScape. I really do. I just love that it's so engaging to me, and that, you know, if I want to go do nothing but click and just watching Practical Jokers while I play, then I can do that. Or if I want to go be super fucking engaged and do a quest line and learn about why Henrietta doesn't like fucking Henriotto, you know, then bada bing, bada boom.
True, yeah.
I played Nightmare Zone for so long, bro. I had 13 million points for Nightmare Zone, and I haven't played in the Nightmare Zone for months, and I still have 7 million. I buy the daily Nightmare Zone boxes every day, make bank off it.
I don't remember. I don't know what Nightmare Zone is.
So it's like this cool thing where like every quest you've ever beaten gives you a boss, and said boss is in the Nightmare Zone, and you can choose to fight the bosses over and over and over, and it's really interesting. But yeah, so it's a great thing for AFK. If you get a bunch of the best armor, you can just basically sit there and like I've got it to a point where I can click once per 7 minutes. So
Damn.
I can do it at work. You know what I mean? Like once per 7 minutes, I can hit my phone. And if I fail, there's no deficit. You don't actually lose anything. It's a completely safe activity. Um, really cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love it. You know, I would love WoW, but it's like, you know, anything I do is going to take away from RuneScape slash take away from more free time I have. And it's, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to invest in. Like I love RuneScape. I like things that look cool, but if I get bored of RuneLight playing old school, like I'm playing right now, I just switch to RS3 and play the 3D version of the same thing. And it's like, oh, look, I can play this in 4K. You know, are you playing 4K?
Um, you mean RuneScape? Like RuneScape 3?
No, no. In general, just whatever you're playing. Are you playing in
Oh,
4K?
no. I have a 1080p 244 hertz
Okay,
or
so
280 hertz or 244. I'm not sure.
it's 44. 280 doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
244. Yeah.
Overclock 280s could exist, but yeah, I have a 144 2K that I play with, and I can overclock to 165, but most of my programs don't allow that high of a swap, so it's just stuck at 144. I'd love 4K. I think my processor can handle it, but I just that fucking $700 for a monitor. It's like, oh my god, dude, that's a commitment.
I just got an ad recently for it was like on my YouTube after a video from like an Amazon sponsored laptop that had a 360 hertz. display
Wow.
with a 3070.
Jeez.
Yeah, and only for $2,500 with like a i10 processor. That's pretty insane, I think.
Yeah. No, that's a good
It's
price too.
unreal.
For what you get, that's certainly a deal. You know,
I
I'm
can't believe you played COD and you only experienced 144. That's I think you're missing out, man.
144 at 2K is something special, my friend.
Hmm. I
Like
don't know.
the
I
difference,
I would give that up.
I can assure you, the difference between 1080p and 2K is 110%. The difference between 2K and 4K is 35%. Like it's a diminishing return on investment between 2K and 4K solely because of what my eyes can actually see. Like the difference between 1080p and 2K is revolutionary because when 1080p was made, that was revolutionary, and when 2K was made, that was it's double the concentration of basically what you see, and it's truly amazing. Like it's a whole difference. If you were to show an adult, here's this 3-minute video, and then show them the same video a week later, hey, watch this again, I updated it, and you showed them in 4K, or whatever, 2K, I mean, they would be like, oh my fucking God, this is insane. Like this is, it's so much more crisp. There's so much, I can see the pimples on his face as opposed to just seeing his face, you know? But if you were to show him it at 4K, it's like, well, the fact that I can distinguish within a 32nd of an inch that it was a black pimple and not a dark blue pimple is a little whatever. Like, it's just like, yeah, it is clearer, but and I learned this from other people, but still, I think 2K to 4K is not a jump. 2K to 8K will be holy fuck, but the 1080 to 2K is not, oh my God.
I think I would still throw my PC away or my monitor away if I had to pick between 240 hertz, 240 hertz, 240 hertz 180p or 2K. I would toss the 2K
I mean,
away,
I can
especially if you
imagine
play
that
FPS.
what you look at is fucking super crisp. I mean, yeah, that many hertz, just I remember what first looked like when I looked at 144. 144 was
Yeah,
super
yeah, yeah.
crisp. I loved it. So to think I could go higher would be amazing. But 2K gave me clarity. Like I bet at 200
I
something
mean,
hertz you have speed, but you're
I
definitely
mean,
missing
I'm
the
just
clarity.
surprised because you play FPS games, and that's like the
Yeah,
most
but
important thing.
do you know how much a 244 hertz 2K monitor would be? That would be as much as a 4K monitor at 144. Like I would, it would be the cost of
Yeah,
an
no, yeah,
AR-15 that
yeah,
I could save my
yeah.
life with. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
It'd be
saying.
the cost of a cheap turbo for my
Yeah,
Impreza.
it's a hard decision to make for sure.
It's a lot of fucking money, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you play. It's like picking the resolution. It's like putting 30 FPS, 1080p on your stream instead of 720p, 60 FPS. When you gotta pick the 60 FPS if you're playing a fast-paced game.
For
It just
sure.
makes more sense. But I don't know. I think you should try it for sure. If you ever get a chance to,
Let me
definitely
look
try
right
it.
now. I'm gonna go to Amazon while we're talking, and I'm gonna Google this. I'm gonna say $600 is the accurate price. So 244 hertz, 2K monitor. Let's see what the fucking price is here. I spelled monitor wrong, so that's not gonna come up. Let's see. Is this 244? No, so for 144 hertz, 2K, G-Sync IPS. Now IPS is the color monitor, not the speed
Yeah, yeah,
monitor. So that wouldn't be
yeah,
fast in milliseconds. It would just be crisp color. Just for a
yeah.
2K 144 is 500.
Mm.
So, I'm looking to see if see, I've got one right here that's a 2K that overclocks to 170. The one I have right now goes portrait and landscape, does vertical swivel,
Oh,
horizontal swivel, and can go overclock to 165. The problem is if I overclock it to 165, none of the programs I have are programmed to clock that. So even Call of Duty wouldn't do 165 because even though my monitor is set to that, it's not programmed for that. So I don't know.
yeah.
It's weird. The fact, so
I only made my decision looking off of what the pros used, and a lot of the CS:GO players, etc. They all had 240 hertz. Some, I think, one had 360.
Okay.
Uh, but
Holy
yeah,
shit. So I
and they want to
found
go low. They want to go low resolution because more FPS if you play on a low resolution.
so I've got one right here. The Omen, uh, Omen is the brand, and it's
Mhm.
a 240 hertz, 1 millisecond, a 2K monitor, from AMD with for 590.
Ooh,
So that's
sounds sick.
yeah, no, that looks it looks pretty as fuck. All the ads are in French. So I don't know about that, but still, yeah, that's so maybe if you get a deal, but the majority of monitors. So like honestly, I don't know what's fucked up on Amazon because there's some shit that's not good. There's an Asus right here, 28-inch, 1 millisecond, 4K for 249. Like I just don't buy that. 28-inch, 4K, 244 for $300.
28 inches is really small, if I'm not mistaken.
The 28, I don't know, as a professional Call of Duty player, 24 inch or 28 inches is huge. As a Call of
Yeah.
Duty player, you do not want anything less than 24 or anything more than 27. You want 1 millisecond, 24 to 27 at whatever resolution, but you need at least 1 millisecond between 24 and 27. Anything higher than 27 inches or smaller than 24 has a diminishing return on speed.
What sucks about the 1 millisecond thing is that you never actually, you have never actually see the 1 millisecond.
You do, bro.
The,
As a professional semi-professional Call of Duty player, you do. It's the moment when you kill someone and they on their screen were around the corner, but they weren't because I killed them.
I think we had that discussion already, and I told you that it was about the server, and the millisecond was just how fast the resolution or the lights of your on your pixels change colors, because you never actually why I say it is because there's so much other things that depend on your like on how fast your pixels change color, like the game, how it updates, if there's any other programs or software that's like lagging your system. I mean, it's advertised 1 millisecond, but what you're actually seeing is usually between 3 to 6 to 7 to 8, maybe 12, if you're unlucky.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What I believe obviously may not be super accurate, but this is what I believe. And you know, when I was learning how to play Call of Duty, the professionals said that, and I rode with it ever since. And you know, maybe it does nothing, but as a placebo, you know, to not have a 1 millisecond, like if you were to Google what a professional Call of Duty player would have, a one
Oh no, I know.
millisecond monitor is on the list. And so like maybe
Oh,
I
I know
can't
that.
truly equivocate why it's important, but I'm aware that the people who are pros say it is. And so it's like
Yeah,
me believing Einstein's equation is important because he says it is. It's like, you know,
yeah.
I'm working
I'm
off
not arguing it isn't.
secondhand knowledge, but yeah, no, and I know you're not being contentious. I'm just to me
I
that was
wasn't
a really
arguing it
big thing.
isn't. It is a big thing. I was just saying that it sucks that you aren't actually getting the 1 millisecond when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Um, like I would run a program called MSI Afterburner, and I would track the on-screen frame time, and it would never be lower than 5 milliseconds. That's what the program says I'm getting. I would never get lower than 5. No 4, no 3, no 1.
Hey, so can we go into a super nerdy conversation?
Sure. About what?
Not that we haven't been in one. Um, so I built this PC in February 2020 when I had a different job and a different life and a different outcome. And so I'm curious if I were to want to change my CPU and maybe go SLI on the GPU world so I could run 4K on one monitor and, you know, 2K independent on a second monitor and not have to worry about getting frazzled with a lot of programs because they're running separately. Um, I'm just curious, what is entailed in changing a CPU? That's one thing I could learn from YouTube, but don't know. Is it as simple as removing my CPU and putting in a new one, or it whoa, you know, does where does my CPU come into play? Like, does
Um,
that? you know, because I had to have my CPU in to download Windows, but I've never had it out since Windows is downloaded. So does my memory change when you change your CPU, or do you just reload up and go into the BIOS and change something real quick, or do you not know?
I think everything is automatic as long as your motherboard
Can
physically
support it.
takes. Yeah. And then the hardest part about it is honestly thermal paste. I once got thermal paste in my memory, and that fucked one of my memory slots.
I don't
I think.
consider that hard, but I was an electrician apprentice for 3 years, so
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
very aware of everything. That's why when you look at this PC, if I were to show you behind it, bro, the wires are done so professionally. There's 65 individually addressable RGBs in this. I'm running 3 fans, a 240 millimeter radiator, and then fucking a GPU support bracket, and every single wire in the entire case is nestled out of view. So I spent a very long time working on it. You know what I mean? I still have so many open
Let's go.
headers on my motherboard that it's ridiculous. I have to Google new shit all the time. Like, what's this header doing? I might throw in some
Yeah.
more RAM just for fuck's sake because it's so cheap comparatively for what I do a lot of stuff, and I don't think I'm maxing out 32 gigs anyways. But it's like I got 2 sticks and I can fit 4, so. I'm just thinking about like I would like some increased performance. I've had a few diminishing returns on things when I got Zoom open. I'm streaming to YouTube, Facebook, fucking Twitch. I'm also AFKing RuneScape. I'm on Discord talking to a bitch with a fat ass. Like, you know what I mean? I've got so many things going on at one moment that like I'm reaching the peak of what my PC can do, and that's with an i7 99K and a 2070 Super. So I'm just and at the same time I'm super happy with it. I can render a fucking 2K video file of 2 hours in like fucking 40 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, and that's while I'm watching a Practical Jokers and AFK RuneScape. I've never actually just let it sit there because I'm always sitting at my PC while it's rendering when we're done. But I don't know. I think I might want to jump up to the mat. Yeah, I have a. Well, let me Google this real quick. I'm curious. Z390 Aorus Ultra Max CPU.
The Z390, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have a similar one.
Supports
should
8th
support
and 9th gen Intel core processors. So 9th gen.
Yeah.
So what's the best 9th gen processor?
i9 9900K.
Okay. So I
Or
could.
That's one I have, I think.
That's what you have?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
I can
special.
send you my spec sheet.
Supports i9 and i7. CPU support list for more information. Where is the CPU support list?
DM of all my Garbo. Yeah, ICP would definitely do you good. I wanted to say something, but I completely blanked on what it was.
Yeah, so it looks like it can take all. It says refer to CPU support list for more information, but it doesn't have the CPU support list viewable, which is kind of fucking irritating. Intel 9 gen. So yeah, so Intel Core i9 99K is the best one for
If I'm not
9th gen.
mistaken.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's only $430. And so that wouldn't change anything. I can literally unscrew these 4 screws on my radiator, pop my CPU out, slap the new one in, thermal paste it, slap this bitch back on, and that's it. And then it turns on fine.
Your BIOS should read it right away, and if it doesn't, I'm not
You
sure
might
why.
you might have
You
to
may have
change
to
it
like
in the BIOS, but even still, like that's it, really.
need to reset your BIOS. Worst case scenario. But yeah, there shouldn't be a problem. Everything should be automatically detected and work by itself without your input.
Yeah, the difference between an i7 9000 or 99K, whatever I have, nine something, and a ninth gen must be much better, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Now, what do you
it's
think?
pretty
Do you think
crazy.
I should go up to a 30 series if I could get my hands on one? Or do you think I should go? I think I should go SLI. I'll get another 2070 Super and I'll run two 2070 Supers. One will independently run a 4K monitor and one will independently run a 2K monitor. And then that way, the one that's only running the 2K will also run all the processes that, have to support graphics of streaming and that sort of things. I'll put all
If
the
you're gonna be
load on the 2K one as opposed to the
if you're,
4K one.
if you're gonna be streaming, I would just get like a 1080 or a 1070 and like keep your i7 and build a PC with that. Even get a used one instead of getting two SLIs. Like honestly, the only thing I would suggest two
So
SLIs
how do you
for,
run two PCs together? I don't understand the concept of that.
like with a capture card for if you're gonna be streaming, so that way your streaming is independent of your gaming. Because unless you're gonna be gaming at 4K or above,
Well,
and
that's
your other
so let's
monitor
put
is 2K, 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 and
uh-huh.
then they're actually like there's actually two programs running at the same time. Like if you're playing two versions of Call of Duty and you need no buffers between the two versions when you alt tab because you're playing both windows but borderless, then I would say SLI. If you can assign each game to their own graphics card, and then like actually yeah, because most games don't support SLI anyway, so I would just not recommend SLI. I don't see the application for it unless you have a specific application that you're going to be spending like
I
1,000 to
just
3 hours.
my understanding of SLI was it was just double the power. Like you were able to
Mm.
differentiate power between your monitors. So like I would be able to run like right now, if I were to run Impractical Jokers on HBO at 4K and run you and me on a Zoom call on this monitor half screen and run AFK RuneScape on the other quarter screen of the half, and then if I can have Windows Internet Explorer on the other quarter of the screen of the half with RuneScape and whatever, and run all that, it's all processing off one GPU. But if I
You
had
do
two, then I could process one monitor with one and the other with the other, and it would divide the load in half. That was my understanding of SLI.
there's absolutely no reason you can do all those things and all at 8K with the specs that you have, and it shouldn't be an issue. The SLI benefits from it only benefits from software that supports SLI. Otherwise, you'd have to like really tax your PC to get benefits out of SLI. And
But
from what you're
really though, so
saying,
like what I'm
I
saying
don't
is
think it would.
completely wrong. One doesn't, because I thought I saw in a video that one can control one monitor and one can control another, and if that was true, you would be dividing the load.
I wouldn't know about separating tasks by monitors. I don't know if that works or if it
Well,
doesn't.
I just mean
Uh,
like through NVIDIA support panel. Like when I right click and go to control
yeah,
panel,
yeah,
I can choose what does what. And right now I'm choosing that one GPU runs two monitors. If I had two GPUs, I could choose that one runs one and one runs the other. And that would be dividing the load substantially. That's my understanding of it. If I'm right, I truly believe that that's a great option. The only deficit I'd run into would be cooling. If I can't keep two 170 Fahrenheit GPUs chill, then I'm gonna have a big fucking problem.
I mean, another good option would be to just buy a PC that has two systems in it and go 8-way SLI in two systems, but that would be complete overkill, right? So that's kind of the same concept. I think I'm not sure how NVIDIA control panel works exactly. I've never did that myself, divided it. And if it does work, then and that is your goal to like maximize each monitor's software and how well it's and how much processing it's receiving, then yeah, if you don't mind uh like what is it called? Wattage waste from an extra card or like not underutilization of your second card by like 90 or 95 or 80% at all times, then go for it. I just don't think that there's a
I just
purpose.
I just don't know that and like I said, I'm not willing to argue because I certainly don't know vehemently, but I truly believe, based off what I understand from my motherboard manual and the YouTube videos I've watched, that you truly can separate the power of the motherboard. So one does what you tell it and one does what you tell it. And if you're telling it to work on separate tasks, both use full power on separate tasks. I mean, do you
Like for
mean,
uploading videos? I mean, I need it to be applicable for it to make sense to me.
well,
Otherwise, you're
so
just wasting
one
it, in
GPU
my opinion.
can be running 100% of its power on Impractical Jokers at 4K, and one can be running 100% power on my OBS Streamlab picture, my preview, and my Roomlight. And they, if they were both running at 100% power separately, that is not equivalent to one at 100%
Yeah,
power, because that's
yeah,
simply, you know,
yeah.
and
I just
that's my
that makes sense
understanding
to
of
me.
it, you know. And
Yeah,
so
if that's how it works, then yeah, that would be a good way to use it for. Then I just, for me, it wouldn't be practical
I
for
just
me
don't,
because
well, I just
I
mean,
know I
so like
wouldn't be
I have
throttling
a
at 100.
2070 Super. What do you have for a GPU?
2080 Super. I actually sent you my list in the
Okay,
DMs.
yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have Discord open. I've got I'm
Okay.
streaming us to Twitch and 3 different servers. I've got my Roomlight open. You and me talking on Zoom is full screen. But
No problem.
and yeah, I've been contemplating more monitors too. So that's where it comes in. If I had dual SLI, I could be running 6 monitors.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and it truly would be 3 on 3, even if the power was
Yeah,
separated however I choose.
yeah.
I only have 3 slots. I have 2 HDMIs and 1 display port for my 2070 Super. The only reason I didn't get a 2080 or a Titan was because I thought that as my first PC build, I should buy the third best thing on the market for everything. So I
Yeah,
bought
you
an
did good.
Intel 90, 90 whatever, and that was a pretty decent starter. It's done everything I needed perfectly. My Z390 Aorus, I don't remember how I came to that, but I truly love it. To have an upgrade from this would be changing all the wiring, but the upgrade would have everything this has plus more, so it would be really simple to do. Pull it out, put a new one in, bada bing, bada boom.
Exactly.
I'm gonna change all the fans out soon that you can see right here by my finger, and I'm gonna put in, glowing RGB ones, because that's something that, like, this came pre-wired from Next, so I had a smart wiring case
Gotcha.
for 25 of the RGBs, and then I wired in an additional 40. So I have 75 or 40 plus, that's 65, 50. I wired an additional 50.
Dang.
But I just wanted
No,
a
yeah.
big rainbow thing. When I was a kid, I saw someone who had a computer like this and built it. And it had rainbow fans and rainbow this and rainbow that. And it made me so happy. I was like, that's so cool. You're such a badass. And he was like 50,
Let's go.
you know. And so as an adult, that's all I fucking wanted. And
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Hell yeah, let's go.
But yeah, no, I think I might upgrade. So if a CPU is that big of a bink swap, dude, whew, I bet the difference between an i7 and an i9 would be huge, and that
Yeah.
I would notice a CPU on click, right? Like if it's truly faster, it'll load things, a 30-second or the tenth of a second faster, whatever.
If you're an FPS gamer, you'll notice right away. Yep.
Okay, true. Okay. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. GPUs are on such short demand right now. It might be easier to just buy whatever fucking GPU I could and run SLI, just because of how cheap it would be to do that. I don't think I'm going to get my hands on any high-end 20 series or 30 series. I'm going to have to buy some fucking 1200 bullshit. I don't even know what it is.
Bro, my card I bought directly from Nvidia for 600, and now it's like 2,400.
Your 2080 was 600?
Yeah, from
How,
Nvidia directly.
how long ago did you
Directly
buy it, bro? February
on
2020.
release. On
February
release.
February 2020, I bought the 2070 Super for 500, and that was brand new. And the 20,
Yeah.
I swear the 2080 was way more.
I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating, or my memory is like bad, but like I swear it was like $600. I actually returned my 1080.
From what I recall, I bought the third best on the market. Mine was 500. The 2080 in February 2020 was 1100, and the Titan was 2000. That was my memory.
Oh, 700 apparently. 699.
$699 for the 2080.
Yeah, I feel like I've bought it for like 600.
No,
I mean,
if it's only that much, I believe you did. So that's crazy.
yeah,
So how much right now is a 2070 Super?
I mean, look at the parts bit. Look at the link is showing that it's worth 2,100 on Amazon. And those are practical buys because it looks for where you can actually buy it, like what is actually
So a
available.
gigabyte GeForce 2070 Super right now, eBay is $1,300. Yeah, but generally it would only be 500, like I said. Yeah, that's what I have. Are you
Jesus.
running water cool or just a big ass
No,
fan?
no, no. Just a fan, yeah.
Really? Works fine?
Yeah, I looked at the temp differences and it's honestly not that drastic in my
No,
opinion.
I'm not saying water is that much of a benefit over the fan. I just
Yeah.
think that water looks cooler than the fan.
Oh, that shit scared the hell out of me, and I'm not really good at maintenance, TBH, so I didn't want to hassle myself.
You don't have to maintenance the pH. What the fuck are you talking about?
You have to like change it every 6 months.
No, you don't.
From everything I've seen, they tell you to change the
This is a
water every six
closed
months.
system, bro. My hands are on the hose right now, full fist.
Oh,
These are two closed system lines that go to a radiator and go to a CPU. I'm not changing them.
mhm,
Like they came as they are. There's no drain port. It's a
mhm.
radiator and a fucking CPU. There's no holes.
They say bubbles can start building up and then causing damage to the radiator
You know how
at the
cheap
top
this
or
thing was,
something.
bro? This was like a $245 radiator, and it keeps my CPU so cool, bro. My hands are on the water right now. I can feel the vibration of the water running through it, and the water is it's so cool. It's not for this GPU is 170 degrees. I could cook a fucking egg on this GPU. It burns dust. The dust doesn't like to sit on this thing because it's so fucking hot. You know what I mean? Like GPUs burn at the temperature that
Jesus.
you cook chicken at. You know what I mean? Like they're super hot. And my
Do you have
CPU,
two GPUs?
no, this is a GPU support bracket. It's made of plastic. It's support because my
Ah,
2070 Super is a big boy, and I'm running an
yeah,
ATX
yeah.
case, so she sags a little bit on the motherboard, and I don't like her doing that.
Gotcha, gotcha.
I really like my motherboard. I think that was one of the most expensive parts I bought on this. My GPU was expensive, but
Yeah, you
I
did
really
good,
like
man.
Aoreus, man. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, whatever research you did, it was good because your PC, you built the PC I would recommend anybody to buy. It's like
And
that's like the yep
I
best high
appreciate it,
end.
man. Like honestly, if trying to buy the specs I have on Amazon is like fucking double the price that I pay for the parts. It's insane. You know, the markup for just putting it together is nuts. You know, and I'm not running any SSD outside of M.2, and I have no, HDDs at all. So I'm that's
I
why
feel
I can
bad
have
for.
my Funko Pop and this massive trident. You know, I have a trident airflow. I learned you're supposed to have a diagram for airflow. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1 out and 2 up. So it's trident with 2
Mm,
vertical exports.
mm,
And in my GPU never crests above 170. It's at about 168, 169. If I'm playing COD at max FPS, streaming to 3 sites against Twitch's TOS, and I'm on some, whatever app listening to music, I can I don't have a problem. She's never overheated. She's never had a problem. The only problem I've ever had with this is like sometimes I'll boot her. 1 out of 40 times I'll boot her and she won't pass BIOS. She'll just spin on the Aoria screen, and I hold the power
mm.
button. She shuts off. I hit it again, and she's never ever in my life on the second boot failed to boot. It's like that 1 to 40 ratio, but it still never failed. So,
I have blue screen sometimes.
hmm.
That's crazy. I'm blue screen watching Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, Elon, what are you doing to me? Please.
What are you doing to me?
uh,
Yeah. No,
I feel bad. Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, it's good. I was just gonna say I love PC life, man. It's so chill. Like it's a
Hell
dope
yeah,
community.
master
There's
race.
so many people who want to help you, and I feel like I'm educated enough to help people, which is cool. Like, I love it, bro. Do you know are you running M.2? Or you're running other stuff?
Yeah, 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 yeah. M.2 for sure.
How many
Sick.
how many form factors for M.2 do you have in your motherboard?
I don't even know that. I don't even know that myself.
So like on my motherboard right here, do you have a vertical motherboard?
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So on mine, this silver plate right here, my finger is pointing at, that's a 28 form factor M.2. So that means the stick, the size, like the size of the shoe, is called a 28, whatever the fuck that means. It's a 28. And then the one beneath it's like a 24 or 26. And that's you can see the top of it. It's the silver right on top of the GPU.
Okay.
And then right behind the GPU is my 24. And under the GPU is my 18. So I have 4 different holes for sticks of M.2 on this motherboard, and I only have 2 sticks in right now. I have a fucking 1 terabyte and a 1 terabyte, so I have 2 terabytes of M.2 right now, and they sell sticks in a 28 and a 26 and a 24 and an 18 all at 2. So I could be running 8 terabytes of memory in my 4 sticks if I wanted, and that's just fucking absurd because I'm at like, I don't know, 1,200 gigabytes or something, 1.2 terabytes, and I have everything I need. If I'm gonna get anything else, I'll be deleting things I don't want. And so I'm, you know, the only
Makes
noob
sense.
error I made on my PC was I tried click dragging 400 gigabytes of files from one M.2 to the other, and all the path files got corrupted. So like if any desktop emblem that was on M.2.1 didn't work once it was on M.2, and basically that for everything. So all my software for Steam got deleted, and all the files were corrupt for a lot of shit. I have it mostly caught up now, but it's certainly
For sure. You have a lot of knowledge in this.
No, not really. I mean, outside of I spent 100 hours researching YouTube to build my PC. I mean, I had 14 different manuals, and I had to cross-reference them all because my PSU was like, you gotta plug this into this, and I was like, what the fuck is a SATA cable? And what the fuck do you know? What is this? And some of the shit wasn't labeled, and so I had to read through every book 3 times. I don't know. I was super precautionary because I didn't want it to not work. And even after all my precaution, the first time I hit the power button on my PC, she didn't turn on.
Yep.
But that was
My first.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying I built my first when I was 15, and
No.
it didn't boot. I had to have my in-law help me out with that.
Yeah, no, I knew exactly what it was. I made it boot 30 seconds later. So when I was building it, the motherboard manual told me to plug in the 24-pin connector to the PSU, but it also had a 6-pin connector next to a 24 that looked like it should have been plugged in, but it didn't tell me to, so I didn't. And so like it's as soon as I hit that button and nothing happened, I was like, fuck. And I went outside and smoked a cigarette back when I smoked cigarettes, and I was like, I'm fucking best, and fucking watching YouTube videos. Like, if it didn't boot, your life is dead. If you didn't pre-check every part during building it, your life is dead. And I was like, I hate myself. I just wasted fucking $2,500 on parts. I'm fucking retarded. And then I was like, I didn't plug in that 6-pin connector on my fucking power supply unit because the motherboard didn't say to. I probably should do that. And I went down there, ripped off the little bracket on the back down here, and fucking ripped the PSU out and fucking plugged it in and hit the power button, and she turned on. And I was like, woo! And I fucking put the PSU back in and screwed it up. But then I was super, super happy, man. And it went cool. The BIOS recognized almost everything. I had to fuck with a few things in the BIOS that weren't being recognized. I don't think my M.2 got recognized. I had to tell it to recognize it or something. But outside of that, I had a great run and just watched 30 different versions of Linus Tech Tips, and the other guy who's got a shaved head and glasses and talks a lot, and I learned everything I needed to. And funny enough though, I didn't have a graphics card fucking driver for a year and a half after I built it. It didn't matter though, because my chipset had a pre-based one that was new enough. Like my GPU was made a year before my motherboard, and so my motherboard came with an update from a year after the GPU was made. I mean, the GPU was made, so it didn't matter. The driver that was on my chipset was already good enough that even though I didn't have the newest GPU driver, I never realized it was a problem playing any game ever. It was great detail. And then one day I loaded up RS3 and it was like, your drivers are out of date. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I looked and I was like, oh shit, I don't even have a GPU driver. and now I have one. But yeah, and that was the cool thing about RS3 is it's got such a demand for graphics that it really lets you know that your shit's not up to date. Because I had a shitty $300 laptop and RS3 did not go well on it.
Oh man, you were probably lucky that you didn't have a graphics driver, because they love updating their drivers and messing things up all the time. Screens and crashes and all this garbage.
Yeah, that may be a thing. But the PC world's the shit, man. I love it, and I might even, do what like what you said. I might build a PC, put it under my desk, get 2 more monitors, put them above my monitors, and then have 2 PCs and just have to start them both and run separate programs. And one will be on YouTube and one will be on a different thing, as opposed to one
That's
running
my
two
recommendation.
programs. Because that differentiating is really the key. Like if I could be, you don't even have to stream, but like, yeah, like you said, if I ran the HDMI from the monitor of computer A to the capture card, but the output from the capture card to PC2, then all the resources that run the game have nothing to do with the output of the video that I'm streaming. And that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
So you're definitely right there. That's a really good fucking idea.
You know what the future of streaming is, man?
Being in a room like the movie Gamer, and just it's like 3D and everything you do
Oh,
is with your hands with no haptic sensors. It just knows where you are.
ooh,
You know what I
ooh,
mean?
hell yeah, hell yeah. That's a part of it. That's probably
No,
better. That's probably better than what I was thinking.
no, but still, no. What were you gonna say?
There was this one IRL streamer. She had a drone flying around capturing her body, and it was like almost Grand Theft Auto. It was behind her, just following her as she walked.
That's really funny.
And it was like live streaming from the drone. That's so cool.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, dude, there's this one guy called what's his name? Max Ryder. I forget his fucking name, but he's on Facebook and he's this super nasty motorcycle dude. And he's got a drone that follows his motorcycle even up to like
Ooh,
160 miles an hour, fucking
holy
like
shit.
booking it. He probably does 200 a lot, and maybe it keeps up, but like it's fucking insane, bro. He's got this tripod mounted on the back of his fucking motorcycle, and the camera is a 360-degree capture everything, and it never leaves like 10 feet from the sensor. So he doesn't control it. It just follows the sensor. And the sensor's in the back of the bike. And he's fucking fucking wheelie past a Ferrari. Fucking, you know what I mean? And he lives out in the middle of the desert, so which tons of people race, and it's, not safe to race, but simply more applicable to do so. And it's fucking exhilarating to watch.
Damn.
Yeah. Do you have any like dangerous physical hobbies? I mean, I was a dirt bike rider, and I break ankles on skateboards every year. It's super fun.
Can't say I do. I mean, when I was 15, I did parkour. I explored a bunch of abandoned places.
I did a bunch of parkour,
Um,
bro. Parkour is wicked fun.
hell yeah.
Dude, you learn your body. Like, I'll be at work and I'll be walking by a stack of pallets, and I'm like fucking 6 pallets left,
Okay, dude.
right, got it, jump, and I'll fucking land on them, jump off, and someone be like, "What the fuck you just doing?" I was like, "I didn't know if I could jump that high. Just checking." You know what I mean? They're like, "Well, you fucking retarded."
I think people are weird who judge people who like to be active. That's one of my biggest fears in life. Like one of the two is not losing my agility.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I start losing my agility, I'm fucking becoming a martial art master and opening a fucking studio if I have to. Like I am not letting myself get that lower. I can't like jump or sprint out of nowhere to
Yeah.
full speed. Like that'll just like that would suck. That's not
Yeah.
something I'm looking forward to.
No, for sure. I can relate to that. I'm really proud of my hand-eye coordination. Even my daughter's really on key with her hand-eye coordination, and I have to think that to some degree I'm really lucky. You know what I mean? But yeah, how's WoW going?
I'm not sure. They shut down the auction house because of the new patch coming out. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't like how it's a rat race. Like everyone feels pressure to do things as fast as possible because they'll be behind. And
Mm-hmm.
remember the thing I said about earlier, how I got banned in RuneScape
Mm,
because of the whole vegan and cannibal, whatever meat eating thing, whatever. It's like, yeah, I've even been kicked from guilds in WoW, so I have like an impossible time to find guilds, and streaming doesn't help because people like Photoshop shit and send to my guild leaders and they kick me out. or like, yes, that makes it even harder to like stay in a guild, so I can actually progress in this game. Because you need to be in a guild and play with people to do certain things. Like you can't do max level content by yourself.
Yeah, I can understand that. You know, there's been a lot of facets, like the meta of Destiny year 2 and year 1 was like, yeah, go play fucking the Taken King raid, and there's 1 in 100th rate of you getting the max ghost out of his chest, and the dude who's on his first run will get the best item, and the dude who's done it 500 times doesn't have it yet. So fuck yourself. You know, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just such a diminishing return. I was like, oh my god, you know, it's
Damn.
unfriendly. I was truly unfriendly factors. And then to spite me, I stopped playing for 6 months. And when I came back, I came back right after Valentine's Day because that was my daughter was born. And on Valentine's Day, they had an event where they apologized for the poor RNG of the ghosts in that specific chest. And they gave everyone the max ghost. And I was like, you fucking bastard. You know what I mean? Like, what are you fucking ridiculous? But no, there's so many games that I want to play and do and have fun with. And the coolest thing is that like RuneScape's a thing that if I hop on once a day, 6 days a week, it takes me 5 minutes. And the seventh day I gotta do my farming. So maybe it takes 20 minutes. But outside of that, I'm gonna get max skills in RuneScape over the next 10 years. And it's just such a fun game. Like I'm never gonna, I'm never mad at the fact that I can always hop into it. And lately, it's just the only game I want to play. Every other game requires a much more of a commitment to get anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's no pressure in RuneScape
no, I can
ever.
hop in and fucking just do whatever I want. I don't want to cut wood, I'll go fish. I don't want to fish, I'll
Hell
go
yeah.
make runes. I don't want to make runes, I'll go kill demons. I don't want to kill demons. So, it's like unlimited possibilities, and that's what I love. I haven't done quests for a fucking super long time. And in my head, I'm starting to be mad at myself for not doing quests. So I'm going to get all my skills, I think, to the point where you can Google on old school RuneScape Wikipedia what the max skills you need for every quest in the game are. And I think my goal is to get all
Pretty
of
high.
those skills. And then once I have all of those skills, I'll get all of the quests done in the whole game, then go through and do all of the achievement diaries in the whole game. And I'm working on getting my Inferno cape, but I got to get max defense and max range to help me with that. Plus, I got to get $1.1 billion to buy the best bow in the game. And you know what I mean? I'm at like fucking 200 mil net value right now. So I'm a sixth of the way there, minus the fact that once I have the bow, I still need a full suit of armor. So I need like 1.3 billion to actually do
God
anything.
damn.
So,
Interesting.
but that's one reason I'm doing wood cutting. I think I'm going to make a fuckload of money. Like I'm trying to max fire making and wood cutting because fire making is a stat that will cost me a lot of money to max. But if I'm already training wood cutting, I can just burn the logs I'm cutting. And so my wood cutting doesn't go up as fast as it could, but I'm training 2 stats at once. And I'm, super easy. And the one cool thing is in RS3, there's no woodcutting guild that doesn't exist. But in old school RuneScape, they made this as part of a new island they released. And so there's actually a woodcutting guild in old school RuneScape. So a woodcutting guild does not exist in RuneScape 3, which is actually like one of the huge differences between the stat and that game.
Really?
Most of the
That
most
recent?
Yeah, most of the game runs parallel. What's really cool is they call like old school RuneScape the 5th century, and then when you can beat all of the quests that are in old school RuneScape and RS3, and then they have what's called the 6th century, which you can even start before you've beaten all the old ones. But I think what will make me really happy is to beat all of the old school ones on RS3 and then start beating the new ones on RS3 because there's no new ones on old school. There'll never be new quests on old school. There's just and there's a fucking lot. I have 169 quest points on old school, and I'm probably only the fucking 2/5 of the way there.
Yeah, it's a big time commitment. I'm surprised to hear you say that you have like 15,000 in COD and like you play RuneScape and then say like you value time because that shit is very rewarding, but like it does take time.
Yeah, RuneScape though, like I said, I played it for long enough. I now have enough money to buy the best prayer gear, and so I truly can AFK for like 1 click per 7 minutes. And so that's like, you know, I'm at work driving a forklift, which is my current job. I drop a box off every 3 minutes or less. So as long as once every 2 boxes I tap 3 times on my iPhone to fill up prayer, I can gain 3 million experience in any stat I want all day. You know, that's AFK, or at least combat stats. You know, and those are the tedious ones. You know, I miss all the drops that happen, but who gives a fuck? I get the XP. So
Yeah, still getting XP.
and that's the difference too. iPhone only has old school RuneScape mobile. Android has RuneScape 3 and old school mobile.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe they don't have old school, but they at least have RS3. I'm not sure about them having old school, but they do have RS3, and so that's a big deficit. You know, I'm only an iPhone guy. I have an Apple Watch, and I've actually 2 iPhones. I can show you right now on camera. My broken one that I switched from, and then my current one. They're the same. It's 2 iPhone 10s, the smashed one, the non-smashed one. And the only reason I keep the old smashed one around and I could show it to you is because I have to keep charging it because I broke the top right of a screen, and the only button you need to hit to transfer the authenticators from Google is the top right of the screen. And I can't transfer it. So every time I have to do a Discord authenticator or a RuneScape authenticator, I have to fucking pull out my old iPhone. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the phone screen fixed for whatever $200. I'm gonna swap all my authenticators, and then I'm gonna fucking get rid of the iPhone. I'll sell it for hopefully the $200 that I fucking spent to fix the screen. I'll at least break even.
Yeah.
RuneScape makes me really happy. It's just a really fun game. It makes me happy to play. That's one thing I can say. So like I could care less if other people like it. You know, it makes me really jolly to play. And the fact that RuneLight exists makes me even double jolly because like RuneLight just makes RuneScape better. You know, like it gives me time circles on all these trees. So it's like, you know what I mean? It tells me when items will respawn as I'm using them. If I'm at a mine and there's 100 rocks, as I cut them, it'll tell me how long till they RNG spat back.
Yeah.
And it's like that's that's something that exists in general. If I knew it took 10 seconds, I could just count to 10. But RuneLight puts an actual pie chart that runs with a current circle and tells you exactly how long till boop, it pops back up. And it's like that's fucking awesome. And it does it for everything. Like since I've logged on and been talking to you, I've gained 50,000 experience, 57,000 experience in trees, 63,000 experience in fucking wood. I went to teleport somewhere, so I gained 35 experience in magic, and I just got a random event for a genie, so I have 410 experience in rune crafting. So, like, you know what I mean? And then I wouldn't have been able to tell you all that if it wasn't for RuneLight keeping a log of all the data that exists as I play every instance. And it's really cool. And if I have a question about how much an item costs, there's just a button on the side of the screen. Click, and I can click it, and it searches the database that I could teleport to the bank or the Grand Exchange rather, and ask them how much this item costs. Or I could right click the side of RuneLight, and it will just tell me what the Grand Exchange has. And it's like for that asset.
Damn.
RuneLight's allowed by Jagex too. They allow it because it doesn't let you cheat the game, and they want people to play it. And RuneLight lets you play it at a higher level. It tells you a lot more, you know. Like in the tiers of Gothics, the amount of water you catch is how much experience you get. And without RuneLight, you don't know how long water lasts. But with RuneLight, you know exactly down to a millisecond how long water lasts. And so it's like, as far as, you know, it's the same exact fucking game. Difference is your game doesn't show you the RNG respawn of every item. My game does. Your game doesn't have an outsourced, you know, market to show you everything that you could learn in game, but it shows you out of game while you're in game. I don't know. Just it's super fucking dope.
Yeah. I think there's some add-ons that facilitate that stuff in WoW, but yeah, I wish I had that when I was playing RuneScape and utilized it like back when I was 10, 11, 12.
For real. I
That'd
played
been
in
cool.
elementary school. It's insane. Cool. Well, I mean, we definitely have fucking just about 2 hours of time. Do you want to plug anything before the end of this?
I mean, if you want to check me out, I'm Ethereal Marksman on almost everything. I don't have an Instagram though, and I don't have a TikTok, but everywhere else it's Ethereal Marksman. If you want to check me out, I stream on Twitch. That's probably the best place to catch me.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, and this will be video on YouTube, video and audio on YouTube, and audio solely on Podbean and iTunes. So thank you for everyone who listened, and have a great night.